Aaron.
Hello.
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 Aaron. So I'm Nad. I'm taking over Tom's channel today. And I'll be running Delta Green BLACKSAT. So I'll just start with some content warnings. Delta Green is a horror game, which includes loss of sanity, probably violence, space, agoraphobia, claustrophobia, and probably a whole bunch of other stuff. So
all the phobias. So.
It's not a phobia if there's something reasonably to be afraid of.
Wait, this isn't Candyland Online? So.
That's the next campaign over.
Oh, okay.
Fungi from Candyland?
We'll do a crossover. Candyland and Delta Green.
I've had a friend who used to refer to the board game Arkham Horror as Fungi from Candyland. So.
Okay, so yeah, so let's introduce the players. Let's start with my top left, which is Ultra. Would you want to introduce yourself and you'll be playing?
Sure. Hey, my name is Tom. I go by Bolthra on the internet, and I'm going to be playing Major Dirk McMillan, a true American hero.
Okay. Then Captain sorry, Q. You want to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Q. I'm going to be playing Captain Dan Hamlet. He is one of the mission specialists on the flight.
Okay, and then Steve.
I am Steve. I'm going to be playing Dr. Deirdre Turner. She's along as a medical backup.
DM Disaster. You want to tell us about yourself and you'll be playing?
Yep. Hey, so I am DM Disaster, or just Disaster. I'm going to be playing Lieutenant Commander Luke Belton, the token black guy.
Okay.
Not the only one.
Okay, true. And now Skull Grim, finally, but not.
Hi, I'm Grim. I'll be playing Lieutenant Colonel Michael Spey, the commander of the mission, and I'm sure nothing untoward will happen on this mission. I will
Of course not. It'll be a completely routine mission with no problems at all.
Although there is no such thing as routine in space.
Right.
That's true. Okay, well, let us begin. Well, so you have all been training for a satellite repair mission for about 18 months. The schedule and the purpose of the mission have been very unclear, and but which makes you think that's probably a confidential mission, but that's not that unusual. So, but then early one morning, all of you get a phone call one by one. So, let's go with Dr. Turner. Get a phone call early one morning, and it's it's Paul Scalzo, who's an NASA administrator. You know him, you met him a couple times. He was at base. Standard NASA administrator, not very much to him. He sounds a bit nervous, but he's basically telling you that you need to meet at 8 a.m. at the Launch Control Center, Conference Room C. He sounds a bit worried.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, sure. We'll see. Well, everything will explain in the briefing. So, can you just come in?
I'll be there.
Okay. The rest you get the same call as well. I don't know if you want to ask Scalzo anything else or.
No, I'm going to assume they're going to tell me what I need to know.
Yep.
Maybe a bad assumption, but who knows?
Okay. Well, you're heading to Launch Control Center on a small bus. It's a bit of a drive. You've all been working together and training for about like a year and a half, so you all know each other very well. So is there anything you want to do on the bus? We'll drive there. It's about like a 10-15 minute drive.
Quick question: is this current year, or like what the time?
Sorry, I should have said that. The year is 2010.
2010. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So all of you know that the shuttle is kind of on its way out, although it hasn't officially been decommissioned.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably going to lean over to where the driver's rearview mirror is and be able to check his hair a little bit, just make sure everything looks good. You know, checking his teeth and all that. So,
Yeah, I'm going to close my eyes and meditate.
Yeah, all business.
Okay.
Just, probably read the newspaper or something like that, but nothing serious.
Yeah. You see the standard 2010 headlines.
What was that?
Which you see whatever happened in 2010, and I'm too late
Okay,
to
sure.
that.
I thought it was going to be significant for a second.
No.
Cell phones are getting bigger.
That yeah. Oh, you might have iPhone 2s
Ooh.
at this point.
I do not
I'm sure
know.
Dirk has one. So
Yeah.
I'm sure I don't.
Okay. Then you don't. Okay. You arrive at conference room C. I mean, you've been there dozens of times for various meetings, talks, and so on. This Scalzo, you recognize Scalzo. I mean, you've seen him around, know him. And he's talking to Colonel Aaron Woolridge, who is an Air Force officer. You've seen him around. He's overseen past your training, but never actually really interacted with him. I mean, you literally had like a basic introduction, and he's just occasionally been there just overseeing your training. In addition to that, the two people you recognize, there's two other people you've never seen before, and they're both wearing jumpsuits. They're sitting at the table as well. One is chubby-cheeked, and he looks like he's so nervous he's just about ready to throw up. His jumpsuit is stretched, and he's got very big thighs, and he's got a swollen belly. That one is like, it's kind of the opposite, his mirror opposite. His hair's scrunched in, he has thinning white hair, and he has a very lined face. He's kind of just sitting back in his chair. He looks resigned, just waiting for stuff to happen.
Dirk is going to nudge whoever's next to him and be like, I think we're going to need to lose a little bit on the ship. Maybe a little extra thrust if they're coming with us.
Scalzo kind of sees you come against, kind of gestures forward and says, good evening. Well, good morning. So, I assume you all know Colin Woolridge? I mean,
Yep.
Yeah, Woolridge salutes and then comes up to you and shakes your hand one by one.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a firm handshake. Not overpowering, just firm.
Crushing handshake.
To crush his hand back.
Crushing handshake, yeah.
Tap on the shoulder.
You do that whole like thing where you press harder, he presses harder.
Yeah. And stare him right in the eye. Establish dominance. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And he, Major Dirk, pleasure to meet you. And Captain Hamlet, pleasure to see you again. Dr. Turner, I'm glad you can make it. Lieutenant Commander Belton, it's a pleasure to see you again. Hey, it is good that you're here. Now, please have a seat. It's an honor to work with you. Assume you just all sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, I said.
Gentlemen.
Okay. These are, he points to the chubbier guy and says, "This is Mr. Bruce Weintraub, and skinny guy over there, points to the guy, is Mr. Pierce O'Neill. They're ready to BLACKSAT, so you're perfectly free to discuss anything with them in the room." Scalzo kind of, when on measure about BLACKSAT, you see Scalzo kind of very, very quickly make his way out of the room and close the door. You assume that he's not actually cleared to discuss it.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So before we can actually start the briefing, I need you to all confirm that you can freely accepted the contract you've signed months ago, and that you're committed to maintaining confidentiality, and you agree to the mission at hand, whatever its details.
I do.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then he sits down, kind of the head of the table. So, a classified United States defense satellite in orbit, codenamed BLACKSAT, it needs repair and recalibration. You, the astronauts, are to escort Mr. Weintraub and Mr. O'Neill as an alternate, or a covert shuttle flight so they can effect the repair and recalibration of the satellite. BLACKSAT's orbital height is 523 kilometers. It's moving at 7 kilometers per second. Commander McMillan, your mission is to guide the craft to a close synchronized orbit so that Belton and Hamlet can escort Weintraub or O'Neill to the satellite. You cannot use the satellite. You cannot bring the satellite into bay or use the shuttle remote arm.
So I gotta basically just fly up to this thing, and we're just gonna just orbit next to it as it's moving.
Well, you'll enter a synchronized orbit. Basically, you'll match orbits with the satellite so that Belton and Hamlet can escort the mission specialist into close proximity to satellites so they can effect the repairs.
So Belton and I are going to EVA with O'Neill.
Most of Ventrob is the primary. O'Neill's there as a backup.
Okay, you fellas have EVA experience?
They kind of look a bit. Well, Ventrob kind of just looks down at the table, and O'Neill kind of just looks. I'm afraid not. I did go scuba diving once.
Well, that's as a scuba man myself. Okay, I think we can work with this. It's gonna be difficult. I give Belton like this surreptitious look, like, oh my god.
So
this is pretty irregular.
Yes, well, that is the version, and yeah, unfortunately, the technologies used to repair are classified separate from BLACKSAT, so you're not cleared for that. The shuttle will be loaded with 3 manned maneuvering units, MMUs, which will allow you, Hamlet and Belton, to maneuver one of civilians to the shuttle, to the satellite. The repair will begin in 5 days, and liftoff is in 48 hours. After liftoff, it'll take you about 2 days to reach the satellite. If there are any questions.
Kind of looks around the table then.
I'm just gonna look over to Spay.
I assume this goes without saying, but I'm guessing the reason we're not getting trained on fixing the BLACKSAT, and you two are going to have to try to do it, is because there's some urgency, some chance of catastrophic failure.
Well, Boric picks up. Unfortunately, no one except those 2 men can fix the satellite, because they have some very specific training and knowledge, which would take way too long in order to train one of you and sufficiently.
Understood.
Weintraub kind of looks up and says, well, the thing is that this actually sounds a bit more confident when he's talking about this. Only O'Neill fully complains the curses differentials. And when he says that word, says, if that information is adequate clearance only, and Weintraub immediately kind of just sits back, like kind of puts himself back down and looks back at the table. And all of you realize that this is like a highly irregular way to do a mission. Even for a classified mission.
Yeah, I'm going to give them. I'm going to look at these 2 specialists dead in the eyes. Like, you understand what you're getting into here. Space is an unforgiving place.
Weintraub just nods, and O'Neill kind of was for, I understand, but we're the only ones who can actually do this. I mean, we've learned this, and there's just no way we can train up somebody with you. Can you give me a human roll?
Was that me?
Can you give me a human roll?
Okay. Sure. Sorry.
Is that everybody or just Spay?
Just
anybody could select. Obviously, all we finish this, all we can make a roll.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I've only got a 10 on that.
Me too.
Where did I put my dice? There's some dice. It's been a while.
Okay.
We're relying on VTTs.
Yeah.
83, so way above what I've got.
Me too. Exactly 83.
83 here as well, which is just weird.
Okay. All right. Something's wrong.
That's bizarre. But yeah, I've got like a 10 human, so yeah.
none of us have any special human training.
Yeah. So they're a bit opaque to us, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, you don't. Unless.
Nope. 87.
We're off to a great start.
You get the crap rolled out of the way now.
Goodness. The
All right.
dice
Yeah,
do not like us.
They just seem to be discussing something you have no idea what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's going over our head. Yeah. This
Well,
is
we will do our best to keep you 2 safe
Yeah.
while we are in space, or Winthrop, while we're on the walk, assuming that things go well. We're going to need your agreement and cooperation. When we're out there, you do as we say.
Of course, you're the
When we
specialist.
get to to the thing, and you do your work, and we will keep you safe to the best of our ability. You guys have some big balls.
Thank you, O'Neill says. Weintraub is just kind of staring at the table, fiddling with his hands. Yeah, well, Moritz looks around. Are there any more questions? I mean, we'll obviously the specialists, Belton and Hamilton will take O'Neill and Weintraub through basic training for how to use the MMUs. And later on today, Dr. Turner, if you can do the physicals for those two gentlemen. Are there any more questions?
Yeah, I have one.
Yes, sir. Lieutenant Commander Belton?
Not going to say that this is going to happen, but what's going to happen if the mission's a failure?
Well, I mean, we have had failed missions before, but I'm sure that crew of your ability will not have mission failure. I mean, we still have the standard board protocols and return protocols, so I mean, the BLACKSAT will probably just not be repaired, which will be a loss and might be a threat to national security, but unfortunately, that is a risk. It's always there.
He's going to not note it.
Noted.
Above game, I am resisting the urge to compare this to a giant asteroid hitting the planet.
Who's got the newt?
Well, if you guys want to give me a human crawl on Lieutenant Woolrich again, you can.
Sure.
It might go better.
Nope.
69. Nice.
Still failure, I'm pretty
First
sure.
one of the game. So.
What do you call it when you
Still way above 10.
when you
It's not a
critical
critical
fail in this game? I got a 44.
Oh, that's a critical failure.
Yeah.
Woolrich seems completely above board. I mean, he's being completely open and honest with you as much as he can within the classified parameters.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah, I will say, gentlemen, we will get you there. We will we will get you to that satellite. The rest of it will be up to you.
Oh, thank you. That's
I got a 20,
Oh, that's
What is it?
good.
but there's no
Does it
like
still
luck
only have
or
a 10?
anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did succeed 29 under 30.
Hey.
Well, that's good.
You get the impression that Woolrich doesn't actually seem that worried about the risks to the satellite. Strange enough.
All right. Well, if our only job in this mission is to fly them there and spacewalk them safe, then I think I don't have any more questions.
It's an escort mission.
Yeah.
And we all know how those never go wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you have 48 hours to kind of just pretty much do whatever you want. Dr. Turner, Belton, and Hamlet, you do have some things to do, but you'll still have lots of time. So is there anything you want to do in the meantime? I mean, you can get in touch with your bonds. I mean, basically you know this base, you've been here for like a year and a half. So if you want to have a scene and talk to anyone, if make up any NPCs, you can just assume that they're there. It's kind of standard base personnel, and you know pretty much everyone here.
Yeah.
Dr. Turner does want to talk to the two mission specialists. If this is as close to the Vesta as it sounds, she may not be getting complete medical records on them, but at least needs to know about any, allergies and conditions and etc. Because they are going to need some whatever NASA's equivalent of Dramamine is. She's going to need to pack plenty.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, well, they don't have any. Both of them say they don't have any allergies that they know of. I mean, you will do a full medical examination later today, and you will get the records will be waiting in your office.
Okay.
So that is actually prepared. I mean, they say they don't have any allergies. But you're an experienced physician. People often either don't know or just lie. Okay. Anybody else?
I'm just going to do the usual pre-mission thing.
Last minute training, some yoga,
Yeah.
chat with people. Nice
Anything
dinner.
particular you want to chat about, or just general chatting?
Yeah, just trying not to seem like I'm aloof or an asshole, or just enough for people to like me.
Okay.
Not so much to be committed to anything.
Yeah. So if you want to ask about anything about the mission or any of the people there, you can also. I mean, you've got contacts and you got access to the internet. So much even from your phone, but it'll take a while. But you all have offices with desks, everything, pretty much everything you need.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a little research on these two to see if there's anything I can find on them.
Okay. Who do you want to search first?
The fat chubby guy. I'm afraid he's going to throw up on my shuttle.
Weintraub. Okay. I mean, you do a quick. How are you doing this?
I'm looking at my character sheet. Let's see.
Yeah, I do not have a phone.
It's not like a technology or.
There's computer science.
There's computer science. There's I think a basic research skill.
Somehow the NASA pilot has 0 in computer
Yeah,
science.
I have a 0 there too. So I guess I really don't have a smartphone, huh?
Exactly.
Well, you know how to use basic computers. Computer science refers to ability. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't
I
code.
got
Something different.
Yeah.
What are these computers? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming he has basic familiarity and is certainly familiar with what he works with every day, but like hacking is completely beyond him.
Yeah, I mean, you can do a basic computer. I can do a basic Google search and so on.
That's all he's really doing, to see if he can find anything about this guy or.
Okay, Weintraub you find quite easily. You find kind of like short blurb about him on the Harvey Mudd College. He graduated there in 1993. He won the William Lowell Putnam mathematical competition, which is a highly prestigious mathematical competition.
Mm-hmm.
He won a graduate course to Harvard. Then you also find his thesis on paradimensional matrix collapse functions. If you want, you can download it and read it because it's actually available in the.
Paradimensional what?
Yeah. It's kind of a head scratcher, kind of like, what does that have to do with affixing a satellite?
You don't know. I mean, do you try to read the thesis?
Yeah, I mean, he's intelligent, but I mean, it's just, He's
I have a background in physics, which you would know if you want to try to hit me up.
It's
just not a huge background, though. So.
He's more suspicious about the person. I mean, he feels like, I feel like I'm reading a resume, but I don't think I'm going to find anything.
Well, one interesting thing to notice about his resume: he graduated in 1998 with a PhD, but since then you can't find anything on him.
Okay.
What's the PhD in?
Mathematics. The paradimensional matrix collapse functions is his PhD thesis.
Okay. That's what we were.
I mean, being military, I mean, he knows that there are certain avenues for people to work that are not necessarily listed on resumes. So he suspects this guy's obviously been working with some kind of agency. But I mean, if there's nothing he can find that is a red flag, he's okay, I'm gonna do my job, fly the satellite.
Yeah. Well, this is 2010, so he doesn't have a Facebook page, but not that many people did in those days. And
yeah.
There's just
I
not
go to
much
his
interest
MySpace.
there.
So.
Yeah,
He has a GeoCities page.
His GeoCities page.
Okay.
No.
Anything else? Anybody else want to research anything? Talk to anyone? Or?
No, I don't think I would. It's just not the sort of thing I would do.
I don't poke around in classified stuff.
Yeah, this is all very, very hush hush stuff, and then Yeah.
Okay.
Do I see?
Unfortunately, I just don't see myself as trying to poke around in that way.
Okay.
Do I catch any red flags or anything in the medical records, or if the others have mentioned that these guys don't seem to have a history? Is there anything in there that would suggest, this guy's been to Western whatever?
Nothing specific. I mean, there's basically while you're in the morning, they go to ride the Vomit Comet, which is also known as the Weightless Wanderer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those of you who don't know this, that's basically a plane which flies in parabolas, so that people get about 25 seconds of free fall after about 40 seconds of basically traveling at 2 Gs. There's a reason why it's called the Vomit Comet. Exactly. They normally do about 50 loops like that. The intention is to basically test the people to see how well they respond to microgravity. So during this time, you go through the records. There's nothing very remarkable about them, kind of the standard array of diseases and so on. I mean, O'Neill is 60, a little bit of a worry. Weintraub is 45. Yeah, but you'll have a chance to examine him. You do get the results from the Vomit Comet, and they're slightly less likely to become spacey than your average person. So that's about all you get, which is something of a good sign. I mean, they're still probably going to throw up when they get into 0G, but there's a slight chance they might not. You don't know. Anyway, so after a while, if there's anything else you want to do in the morning, I can just do it, or we can just skip to the physicals. Okay, O'Neill is the first one to come in, and he's actually in decent shape for a casual smoker in his 60s. He's also the worst physical specimen you've seen since working for NASA.
That kind of goes without saying.
Yeah, his blood pressure is 155 or 100, which means he has hypertension. He's got a horrible lung capacity, as in way below average.
Yeah, is this one?
And looking at his eyes, you'd estimate like a 50-50 chance that his blood vessels in his eyes will rupture during takeoff.
Oh.
And just to add some cherry on top, you estimate that the odds of him suffering a fatal heart attack during takeoff is about 1 in 10, which is less than the chances of him suffering a massive embolism, which is about 1 in 5.
How do we compare?
I'm assuming negligible.
Yeah.
I mean, negligible. It's like one of those things. You can always get a heart attack, but not really something you worry about. You guys are basically in top physical shape. I mean, it's like, and this is like just basic examination. Do I want to give me a medicine roll?
Sure.
It's just like, but this is just standard examination. Kind of put in blood pressure and.
Oh, okay. So my medicine skill is 80, and I rolled 4.
Excellent.
Okay. Unfortunately, that's not how. Unfortunately, that's not a critical in Delta Green, but still good.
It's a double. 11 would be, or.
Something you notice on him. He has like scarring down his left side all the way to his foot. It's not like prominent scarring, as in you kind of see it as close. It's kind of very thin webs and so on. Kind of basically as you examine, you see it, but kind of standing a foot away from him, you probably won't notice it. It looks like he was wet and got an electrical shock at some point.
Ooh.
A while ago. I mean, it's not really a problem. It's just unusual. I mean, it's
fully healed and all that.
Yeah, it's fully healed and seems. It's just.
But
the shock at some point is like.
It is the scar of an unusual injury.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see that every day. Yeah. And something else you notice that kind of doing a bit of electro ECGs, you notice that his electrical activity in his brain is more intense than usual and much more rhythmic, much more regular. Most people kind of electrical activity is all over the place, and he's kind of almost like a beat. Not quite, but it's very close to it. Once again, it's one of those things you don't know what to make of it. It's just weird.
Okay.
You haven't seen it before. You haven't heard of anything. Yeah. And O'Neill's just kind of patiently waiting for you to complete your thingy.
I also have some training in psychotherapy. Is there anything I'd be able to read psychologically about
Give me a
O'Neill
roll.
as I'm spending time? No, there's not.
Yeah. Yes.
78 over 60.
Oh well.
He seems a bit nervous and kind of the standard thing of like, I'm the doctor. I have this big thing coming up, and so nothing.
He's about to go into space. So yeah.
Exactly. So.
Well, he's about to go onto the launch pad. Whether he makes it into space, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to, you can talk to him. He's right there, and or you can
might-
send him out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you want
I
to send him
think
out.
I think Dr. Turner probably shares some of those statistical risks with him.
Well, that
Informed consent, I guess, is what I'm grasping
is
for.
concerning, but I believe that's really making use of my skills. I studied for this for decades.
So did I, and I haven't lost a patient on a space shuttle yet. So
To be fair, we've been on one mission.
he doesn't have to know that.
No, he doesn't.
That's still batting 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I let him go, and I'm going to have a conversation with probably Woolrich later, but
O'Neill kind of gets up, buttons himself, his clothes back up, and leaves. And he doesn't even say bye. He just walks out, closes the door. A couple minutes later, Vaintrov comes in, and you examine him, kind of standardization, and well, this is again including the last specimen. This is the worst one you've seen since working at NASA.
Oh dear.
He's about 15. Yeah, he's about 15 years younger, but he's got slightly less hypertension. Although he still has high blood pressure, 145 or 95. He's carrying about an extra 40 pounds, and he has throat scarring, which is typical of chronic gastrointestinal reflux. That's just something. It's unpleasant, but not life-threatening. It's just there. He also seems to have asthma, which is a bit alarming in this situation. And his lower spine is actually in terrible shape. You suspect he has a spinal injury at some point, probably when he was very young. He's probably gets a bit of pain. He doesn't have quite the full. He seems to have made some effort to keep himself in shape, but he has quite a lot of issues, more than enough to sky for a college dash. He's also tells you that he has fibromyalgia, which will be. He says he's treating with quercetin. Is a flavonoid. You've heard of it. It's kind of a very standard treatment, but with fibromyalgia, things like takeoff, being under massive G's, it's going to be excruciating.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you want to have another medicine roll?
Sure. Okay, that is an 80, which is exactly what my medicine skill is. So
You find the same. His brainwave patterns seem to have the same thing as you have in O'Neill, which are kind of much more regular than you've seen before, and a bit more intense. Like the peaks are slightly higher.
okay.
Then he looks at you, Doc. Tell me the bad news.
I think I give him a little bit of this is what you can expect on takeoff. It is not going to be pleasant. And that's frame it in medical terms, so I'm not, needlessly scaring him, but I'm also not soft pedaling just how much it's going to suck.
He looks visibly worried, but he said, "Are you sure that that's that dangerous for me?"
I have one exam and whatever documents they've given me to go from. So, that's my best medical judgment. I'm trying to frame in my head how to ask the question. Basically, Dr. Turner wants to ask, without asking to be rated on anything that's classified above her pay grade or anything. I understand we need mission specialists. We need some very special qualifications. Are there other candidates? Because if we need specialists in space, we need specialists who can make it to space.
Yeah.
Well, there's. Okay.
I think that's probably a question for Woolwich, but.
Well, see, me and Al are the only people who can. Me and O'Neill are the only people who can do this. There's only like 4 people who would understand the necessary transformation functions, and the other 2 are not even in US, so obviously wouldn't qualify. Yes, I understand it's dangerous, but we are the ones who can actually handle the necessary work. So yeah. So unfortunately, it's either me or O'Neill that will be able to go into space to do this. I understand that you're worried about me.
Yeah, she doesn't like it, but I think she kind of has to accept what she's being given. So,
well, technically, as the medical doctor, you can recommend to not launch these people into space.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but anyway, so moving away from Dr. Turner, unless you want to do something like very, very quickly, or
I think that's probably it for now. Trying to decide just how hard she can buck against the chain of command without just creating more problems, but this seems very unwise.
It's massively risky. Those people, well, in addition to being untrained, there's a massive risk that something will go seriously wrong. Look, even if you had like people who were in top shape and they were untrained, you'll be worried. But these people, yeah, you don't think it's a good idea, but it's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to move to the next day unless somebody wants to do something else in the evening.
No, I'm good.
You share your concerns with anyone, Dr. Turner?
Yeah. I know there were some folks in the briefing with us. I don't know.
I don't
know who I would report to, but
there was Kazi, who's an asset administrator, who's not read onto BLACKSAT, but he kind of coordinates everything. He just knows BLACKSAT is a thing. That's it. There's also Major Woolrich, who is the kind of head of the project. You can find both of them. Everybody's at the base.
Yeah, I think I
know
would
their
go and
offices
talk to Woolrich.
Okay.
Just share my findings. Share the very real chance that if these are the only 2 guys who can fix the satellite, they may not have the chance to do that. So is there another option here?
Unfortunately, we don't have any other options for that. But are you sure that they're unable to perform the function? Most of the work will be done by you.
I mean, O'Neill alone, has a 1 in 10 chance, 1 in 10 plus 1 in 5 chance of dying on takeoff, and not being there to advise anybody about how to fix the satellite once we get up there. So I realize it is not my decision to make, but
Okay. Okay. I'll give this. I'll give this full consideration. I'll present your concerns. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. He kind of starts taking out some papers and looking at them. You kind of feel like you're dismissed.
yes, sir.
And technically, you're not military, so, but still, he basically treats you like a private anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, going over to next day. Next day, you have now it's Lieutenant Commander Belton and Captain Hamlet. You have to train Weintraub and O'Neill and to how to do basic EVA processes. You do that in a massive pool, kind of simulate zero-G as much as you can, still being on the planet. And they have basic training. Will get up into mock MMU, and you get into it, put on a helmet, and then you have to go underwater. And this is very basic stuff. They have to basically go underwater, open a hatch, and go through it. That's it. So, I mean, are both of you going to get into the pool with them? Is one of you? Or
I'm definitely going to. I think we should probably both, just so we can get used to how they're going to behave in space, since we're going to be hurting them.
Okay, well, the first one up is O'Neill. He kind of basically, he's strapped into a spacesuit and gets into the pool. It takes him a couple of tries to kind of get into the MMU, because the MMU is this massive treasure. It's kind of really hard to work in it because it's basically this big thing over you, and you don't have much room to move your arms or anything, in addition to wearing the spacesuit. It's very thick and clumsy. Takes a couple tries, but he actually managed to open the hatch, get through it, and he's not super competent, but he manages basically. So, yeah, that seems to go smoothly. He kind of, he gets up, comes out the pool, and kind of starts stripping of spacesuit, which is actually a bit of a process. While he's doing that, Weintraub comes in. And then Weintraub seems to be really struggling. Takes him a while to get to the MMU, and then he's kind of trying to get the hatch kind of keeps slipping out of his hands because he just can't get the grip properly. And this is taking like really long now. And you guys all have radios, so you're in constant communication with him. I assume you're giving him directions and so on.
Give him directions, talk him through it, stay calm, be reassuring, try to keep him from getting embarrassed, and
Is the oxygen okay? This thing, I feel like I can't breathe. I feel like I'm short of breath. I think something is wrong. Can I get out of here?
Sure. We'll get you out. Meanwhile, just close your eyes. Try to breathe slowly. Breathe in, count to 5. Hold it for 3. Breathe out, count to 5. Hold it.
Okay.
Doing that, we'll drag you back in.
Okay, are you going to, okay, so do you want to give me a charisma ×5 test?
Oh boy.
Take your charisma multiplied by 5 and try to roll in that.
Hey, 32 under 60.
Okay, I see he follows your construction, he is basically doing kind of a variation of box breathing. So his seems to be work, but he's kind of still a bit stuck in not managing. So do you want, what's your next instruction? Can we just sitting there on the bottom of the pool?
I don't know. Luke, what do you think? We should take a break with him or push him through? I don't want to break him.
I don't want to be that guy, but he already seems broken.
That
Right.
I'm going to assume you put this on a private channel.
Yeah. Sign language with the big gloves. mean, we've been at this for hours. He could probably use a break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
give him a break. But we got to tell a good doctor about it.
Okay. Are you guys going to try and lift him out of the pool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you both doing it or just one of you?
Probably both of us.
Okay. Well,
I mean, we're both strong men, but yeah.
so okay. Well, why don't we give me a pilot spacesuit roll with
what
a
now?
plus 20 pilot spacesuit.
Pilot spacesuit. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah,
With a
you,
plus
you both have it on your with a plus 20 to it because you have help.
Oh, okay, that's not
46 under 60 plus the 20, so yeah, more than successful.
Yeah, you get him out. I mean, you get him out of the MMU, then help him out of the pool. He's kind of red-faced. He's kind of just breathing heavily. He's kind of just sitting there trying to carry himself.
All right.
But he seems fine otherwise.
Yeah, what do you think?
O'Neill Varsho, hey man, are you okay? And kind of pats him in the back.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
Call the doctor
your
in,
space is probably not going to interfere, but hey.
I'll get somebody to track down Dr. Turner and get her in here to
Okay,
check him.
I mean, but you're at the base, so there's like lots of random
Yeah.
people who just kind of grab the nearest one. You have sufficient to basically just send them to. Okay. Dr. Turner, you're in the cafeteria, grabbing your first coffee of the day, and this young soldier comes in and said, Dr. Turner, Cap Hamlet needs you at the pool.
I drop my coffee and I'm moving.
Okay, yeah.
He wouldn't be paging me if it was not urgent.
Okay, so you arrive at the pool and you see that's the scene. Weintraub and O'Neill are kind of sitting there talking to each other kind of slowly. Weintraub kind of seems to have kind of gathered himself and seems to be a bit better.
Doc, we had to pull Winthrop out. He was complaining of difficulty breathing. Didn't know if it was physical or psychological, so thought maybe you should be called in.
Yeah. I am assuming in my medical background, I at the very least know how to identify whether somebody is recovering from an asthma attack. That seems like the most
you
obvious.
do. I mean, you basically examine him and you can give him a medicine roll. So what you can pick up exactly. I mean, you'll get results either way, but just want to.
Mm-hmm. Retrofit an inhaler into his suit.
Success, 69 under 80.
You can't find any signs of an asthma attack. I mean, there is no tightening in the throat or anything like that. I mean, you can't find anything wrong with him. You even check his blood oxygen level. Everything seems fine. You assume it's more likely to have been a variation of panic attack. And obviously, you could do like a full-on exam and just put him in an MRI and so on. But it's up to you what you want to tell the people.
I mean, red flags all over the place.
Agreed.
Is there any chance, even if it's not ideal, is there any chance that these guys will be able to walk us through the repairs from mission control?
What are you asking us? I mean, you have no idea what even the repairs are, so you can't guess yourself. I mean, you can ask them or...
Yeah, who are you
I'm
asking?
confident that
What?
anyone could walk me through the repairs, or that they could walk me through the repairs. I can repair anything they walk me through. Sorry, Doc, just trying to back you up.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen. I'm sure I have seen plenty of fully trained astronauts freak out in vacuum.
Yeah.
If he's having possibly a panic attack underwater, I think I start with the two of them, because they know what qualifications it is that they have that nobody else on the planet can possibly.
No.
How do you want to approach this? Do you just go, "Hey, you, tell me how to do it," or?
I think I talked to the rest of the team first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Possibly on the
want-
theory
yeah.
that if the chief medical officer and the captain can make a united front, maybe
Yeah.
we'll get a little bit further than.
I mean, let's assume that you get called in Spain, come in. You're all the same base, so you're there if you want to be.
I can. Yeah, I would agree with you completely. This is not good. This is ridiculous. We even getting them to the satellite seems to be untenable.
What is so secret about this satellite that there's no one else on the face of God's green earth that can do this?
I'm assuming you're doing this bit away from the two of them.
Oh yeah. I assumed we were like in a conference room or something.
We'll huddle, I guess.
Yeah. Or I mean, if you want, you can just have it a bit later, and they'll wander off to their
Just
to do other stuff.
Not in
They're
front
just
of
not
them.
there.
But
Okay.
yeah, we need to meet and discuss this. So,
Yeah.
and that's Dirk's big thing. Is like, all right, somebody's got to give me answers. I mean, is this above my grade to know things?
We don't have to know things. The problem is we can't. These people aren't. They can't go into space.
Right. They're good. Their corpses will make it to space.
Yeah.
I mean,
One of them has a substantial chance of dying on launch, and the other one had a panic. There's no place to get out of the suit in space.
I mean, if we had a month, we could maybe get them.
You have your doubts even about that, but maybe.
Yeah, and neither of them are physically fit. It's too much.
And this order is coming down from the top. I take it that this has to be done in 2 days or whatever.
That's the impression I got. Bear in mind that we've been training for this for 18 months.
Right. All of a sudden, they just drop these two guys in our lap.
This specific. Well, I mean, in the the training for this has been going on for the last 18 months.
Yeah, and you've had training before that. This is not. I mean, you've trained.
Right.
Before
We've had general training, but we've been training for this specific mission for 18 months. It just seems everything is.
It's almost like it's designed for failure.
Right.
But how these people haven't even been given the very. What have these two been doing? And also, I mean, they're not physically fit.
I mean, is someone purposely trying to make this mission fail?
I wouldn't think so.
I mean, you have no knowing, but that seems like a lot of effort to go to launch a mission just to have it fail.
No, this is millions of dollars. Yeah, no.
I think it's a combination of people who don't understand what's necessary to do a spacewalk, to do a repair in space, and also political shenanigans.
I want to talk to the what was it you said, the who's the guy in charge, the colonel?
Colonel Ulrich is the guy in charge.
Colonel Ulrich, like neither of these two. There's a substantial chance that neither of these people will make it intact off the launch, much less to the satellite.
Can we meet with
So
Ulrich?
what are our options here? Yeah, we're going to meet with Ulrich.
Privately? Yeah.
It's played by Ed Harris.
I mean, you can either just go to see him in his office, where it is, or you can talk to the secretary.
I'll bring the team with us since there are observations that we all have.
Okay, you're out of his office. The secretary knows you. Knows that. Well, they know. He knows that you're on a mission, but he doesn't. His secretary. He knows absolutely nothing about it. So.
Right.
And he let you through. I mean.
Yeah. And we'll go to speak to Colonel Ulrich, and then
all of you are here. I mean, we just.
Yes.
I don't see from us, but now twice one day, Dr. Turner.
Oh, twice.
So, what can I do for you?
These two
kind of all standing around the desk because there's one chair in front of it.
Yeah, sure. And I'll take the lead here. These two individuals, there is a substantial chance they can't even make it to the satellite, much less affect repairs. This is. I do not see this as a tenable situation.
It's kind of starts scribbling apart. You can't really see what he's writing. But do you believe there's no chance of them making it at all?
No, but one of them has a substantial chance of dying on launch. The other just had a panic attack in the pool. There's no place to get him out of the suit in space.
They need more time.
See, your concerns are very serious. I'll have to present them together with Dr. Turner's because they spoke to me. She spoke to me yesterday and told me.
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to get back to you on that one. I mean, you all have your phones with you?
Of course.
Sure.
Yeah.
My new iPhone 2.
Our government supplied phones.
I have a government phone.
Yeah.
You have one of those brick Nokias that.
Actually, they probably those Nextels back then, I guess.
Yeah, probably. I have the phone.
I'm sure it would not be ideal for them to for instance, be at mission control and walk us through making whatever repairs need to be made. But
unfortunately, the repairs are classified.
Be a lot less than ideal if we are trying to make those repairs without their guidance because they're dead.
Unfortunately, first of all, those repairs are classified, and it's my understanding that they're highly complex and require some highly specific training that it'll take literally years to master.
Pardon me for asking, but what level of access do we need to what level of clearance do we need to find out what this classification is?
Fortunately, that's classified as well.
Look, I don't need to know how the thing works. They just need to tell me which screw to turn and which way to turn it.
I don't think that's how quite works. Fortunately, I don't understand what's involved in this, but it's quite as simple.
As far as clearance goes, I mean, there's one fella who can just grant us clearance if it's that important. He lives in a big white house.
I don't think I can contact that fella.
All right, McMillan's gonna just probably stomp out because he's just over this.
Yeah, I'm just worried that we're spending millions of dollars to kill two men.
There's a good chance they'll make it out alive. Many men have died for this country before.
Is there?
If they do die for this country, they wouldn't be the first.
But if they can't affect repairs, then this whole thing was for nothing.
That is true. But, I think that we can get one of them to effect the repairs.
All right. Look, I don't mind making a trip into space. I'll do it as many times as you're willing to pay for it.
I will pass this further along the line, and I will get back to you. But thank you for telling me about your concerns. I always appreciate talking to you.
All right, Luke, I guess we should get Wayne back in the pool then.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you go back to pool. I assume you find Weintraub. He is kind of you find him in his. He has a room assigned to him, so you find him there. Yeah, seems a bit hesitant to go to the pool again. Kind of half drags himself there, and eventually he does climb into the suit.
Yeah, come on, man. You've had a good break. Let's go. You can do this.
So is anybody willing to give me a persuade roll?
I mean, I'm willing. I think we should probably both try. I've only got a 20% in persuade.
Lieutenant
Oh,
Commander Belton, you can give me the... What?
I got 10 under 20.
Then I don't need to roll.
Yeah.
Okay, well, but with your guidance, he actually seems grateful for having like support and his thank you, and he eventually managed to actually get the hatch open, steps through it, and tries to do salute to the water, but he actually struggles with his arms because this is basically
like a
the
peer,
leverages work.
doing this as often as long as we have. I'm sure it's going to get difficult to do that, but I will.
Yeah, you literally you take us literally tomorrow, but you keep training him.
Yeah, train like any other astronaut and get it done.
Yeah, it kind of gets towards evening. You kind of finish training because you see that Weintraub is getting tired and then home to rest because you also don't want to be exhausted for launch because that's not good again.
He'll sleep through it and he'll be better off.
If you can sleep through flying at 3 Gs, then
just like old Gus used to do.
And yeah, in the evening while you're kind of having dinner, your phone's actually Lieutenant Colin Spey, your phone rings, and says, Lieutenant Colin Spey, and you recognize the voice. It's one of Scalzo's secretary.
Spay here.
I Spey. We the mission is proceeding unaltered. Your complaints have been registered, but the importance of the flight takes precedence. You expect to continue, overcome, and succeed. Wurich has announced that he will take full responsibility for whatever happens.
I understand.
Well, thank you. I'll pass it on to...
Yes. Oh.
Have a good evening, and best of luck for tomorrow.
Not surprising, but at this point,
you can share the news. I assume you share the news with everyone else.
I share the news. Yeah. This is what we have been ordered to do.
And that's what we expected.
I do not see any other way around it. I'm following the orders. I do not like it.
Well, next day is launch day. You're all wearing your pumpkin suits. It is what, well, that's the kind of the normal kind of name for them. They're actually the official name is Advanced Crew Escape Suits, which has a decent acronym called ACES, but everyone calls it pumpkin suits, and they're all very. I mean, they're basically very orange. The idea is that if you do actually have to evacuate or abort, it will be easy to find. So Spey and Macmillan, you two are in the cockpit, and and everybody else is kind of crammed mid-deck. You, Belton, you're jump master. You're seated in the forward left seat, and your job is if you do the bailout, use the in-flight crew escape system. I don't know if everybody has read the abort modes.
I did.
Okay. Yeah, that's basically you jump from a shuttle with a parachute. Rather obviously, this is used only in extreme emergencies because there are risks with this. And and then you're all kind of seated. You have your comms on. You do all the various checks are done. Things refueled. All the various equipment's moved away.
Roger. Over, Roger. So.
Yeah, all the tests. I mean, if you want to do anything or talk about anything while you're waiting, you can. Or skip through to the actual launch.
We'll skip. Yeah.
For what it's worth, Orlich has had to find some other doctor to sign off on the medical release for these guys to get on this flight.
Okay.
Turner will not do it.
Okay, noted. Takes a while. He finds the doctor. I'm not entirely sure where he found him because, I mean, there are actually the other doctors on base, but you don't actually. You see the signature, you don't recognize it. I mean, then you know the other
all
two
doctors graduated in the bottom half of their class.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you have no idea who it is. I mean,
picturing Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. So,
quite likely.
I could
Kind of. as you're strapped in and going through flight checks, it's like one of those things where it's lead up to assignment. You're now just sitting there a bit bored because there's actually nothing for you to do for a while.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. You can, basically, and then you can kind of hear from it that Wayne Tropes sounds like he's softly weeping. You're like,
You okay back there?
I'll be fine. Thanks. And Neo's kind of, you can hear Neo saying, "Oh, you'll be fine. Don't worry. This is what we trained. They trained us. Well, we're safe with these people."
It's just gonna shake his head and be like,
They're in the rear seats, and Turner, you're between them.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, I'm in the cockpit, so I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can all talk to each other. You've got comms.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's,
You also
gonna
have-
just turn to look at Spay and just be like, "Here we go."
And you also got internal cameras and external cameras if you want to
fair
see
enough.
anything.
Gentlemen, I will reiterate what we said at the briefing. We will get you there.
That's right.
Okay.
You are riding in one of the safest aeronautical vehicles on the planet. You're going to be all right.
You hear the weeping continues. That's the quiet term.
Let it out. It's all right. It's stress. It's okay. Just roll with it.
Far too late to do anything about it now.
So,
Question about how this is set up. Are we all on one channel together, or are like? Can you have a private conversation with somebody?
you can have private conversation, but you need to switch your channel, and I mean it's simple enough. Have a private conversation.
I'm probably leaning into my my psychotherapy training a little bit, trying to talk him through it, because
well, you can give me a
neither one of
charisma
us wants him to be on this flight, but here we are.
You give me a charisma ×5 roll. See how well that goes. You don't have to use psychotherapy. This is kind of a very basic comforting somebody who's scared.
Okay.
I feel sorry for these guys.
I do too.
That is a 23 under 60.
Thank you. And you kind of feel him. He kind of sobbing actually stops. Kind of sitting there. I mean, you can't see where he's looking because he has the big helmet on his head. Yeah, he's sitting on your right, in case you're wondering. Yeah. So at T-2 minutes, the crew members, you have to close and lock your visors. Up until now, they've been open. Well, I could have closed them earlier, but now it's the official time. Sit for a bit longer, and at T-minus 31 seconds, you hear the ground launch sequencer goes for an auto sequence start. Just for the record, for the launch, I mean, the pilot and the commander are pretty much, if everything goes smoothly, you actually have nothing to do. It's automated.
Right.
Yeah. You're there in case something goes wrong. And then at T-minus 10 seconds, you can kind of feel the vibrations. The main hydrogen burn-off system activates and pass through the entire ship. Kind of like, here we go. It's going just almost ready.
McMillan's heart just starts beating faster. This is the part he loves.
T-minus 6 seconds, you feel the main engine start. I mean, you'll see it obviously in your controls. The entire launch stack kind of tilts and kind of pitches forward about 6 feet. It's known as the nod. It's kind of basically just getting in position now to launch. It doesn't actually launch straight up. And T-minus 0 seconds, you hear the SRB, solid rocket boosters, ignite. You hear the explosive bolts go as the boosters are released, and you start taking off. You suddenly feel you feel this.
This is what Spay loves too, but he wouldn't admit it.
This massive roar. The whole thing is shaking. You're basically just there. Yeah. And then basically the shuttle is slowly lifting. I mean, it's going at immense speed, and the shuttle starts to pitch and roll as it kind of adjusts. This is expected, right, on schedule. You're kind of, rather than lying on your back, you're kind of lying backwards with your knees over your head, effectively. And yeah, at this point you're hitting about 1.7 G, so you feel like there's like a large person sitting on your chest. Yeah, and you also see like a gray speckly fog as the G exerts pressure on your eyeballs. You hear Vaintrub gasping, like he's actually struggling to draw breath.
Yeah.
And
Unfortunately, not surprising.
and then after a T plus 90 seconds, the roll kind of settles and you're flying straight. You hear Vaintrub is actually starting to scream. You might be due to the pain, you don't know.
Hang in there, Wintrub. Hang in there.
Hang in there. Yeah.
Okay, scream just kind of cuts off and you realize that his channel's been cut to the ground.
The ground cut him off. Great. Yeah. You can just hear muffled cries coming from,
Yeah, I mean, you have this thick helmet, so
They muted him.
you can hear it because you're sitting right next to him. I mean, but it's like muffled, like he's screaming, like somewhere in the next room.
Can I tell if O'Neill is still with us?
What?
Can I tell if O'Neill is still breathing?
Yeah, because you can look.
Wainthrop is screaming, but
O'Neill seems to be breathing, kind of just sitting there. I mean, this is like it's kind of you kind of have to actually struggle to look ahead because of the Jeep force at this point. Yeah.
Okay.
And you actually, as you're looking at O'Neill, you kind of get actually just you, Dr. Turner, get a note from ground. You're saying, Dr. Turner, Vaintrub's heart rate and blood pressure have leaked into danger zones. You must watch them and prepare for treatment when the shuttle reaches microgravity. The standard procedure is that you basically don't do anything until you're actually in orbit.
I'm assuming we can't.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It's not safe to move about the cabin.
Can't move
Yeah,
about
I mean
the
you
cabin
can. I mean
in
you
orbit.
can. So if you want to do anything, you just tell me and you can. But yeah. So at T plus 38 seconds, you reach maximum, what's called as max Q, which is the greatest point of greatest aerodynamic stress in the vehicle. It means that the entire shuttle feels like it's shaking, even worse than it was before. And slowly you brake, slowly so basically so that the shuttle doesn't fall apart. Capcom Turner, you hear Vaintrub. He's still screaming. They've actually allowed you to hear him now. But the rest of you have actually been cut off from Turner now. O'Neill's kind of screaming on the general channel, saying, "What's going on?" I mean, you can see next to Vaintrub is starting to shake a little bit. Not just, I mean, he's obviously everyone's shaking because the thing is vibrating. You can see this twitching. So that is that. Yeah. At T48 seconds, you're already now 5.6 kilometers up, and you're moving at 1,200 kilometers per hour. Capcom checks. You hear transmission from Capcom kind of start to check in, but then it fizzles out. Like it basically goes, "Major Camarilla."
Say again, over.
Call it, and then cuts out. It comes back, and then it says, "Everything in order. You're now, your heading is good," and so on. It's very standard update, but just cuts. You can hear that there's some interference on the thingy. And then the trust increases again. Now basically you can hear Turner. You now hear Woolridge just for yourself, and you hear a medic, let go, and then stops. Spay. You now then you hear. Proceed to radio O'Neill, permit. And then it just cuts out.
Well, that's troubling.
Mm-hmm.
Is that normal for this part of the launch?
No, it's not. Normally, you should be in radio communication pretty much the whole time.
Yeah. Say again. Over. We are breaking up. We are getting some kind of interference. Say again. Over.
Silence. I mean, you hear breathing of everybody else. Mm-hmm. You, Dr. Turner, can still hear Vaintrub screaming.
Are we in microgravity now? Are we?
No, not yet. It's only been 1 minute, roughly.
It's only been 1 minute, so we're still under thrust.
Yeah. That's 1 minute 47 seconds. You're 35 kilometers already up, and you're moving at over 4,000 kilometers an hour. Silence. Still the radio.
And there's silence from mission control, and we should be in contact with them the whole time. What the hell
It
is
should be.
going on?
I'm just gonna yell into the comm to the doctor. Is Winthrop okay?
Winthrop, but you don't think so, but unless you actually examine it, there's no way to.
I will try.
I will then I'll examine him as soon as we're physically able to do so. But for the moment,
if you decide you want to try to get to him under thrust, I'll go with
for a
you.
second. For the moment, screaming is better than not.
That's true. Okay. So no, at T 2 minutes 30 seconds, right on schedule, you feel the orbital maneuvering system engines ignite. There's like a big shudder as they kind of slowly start putting it right orbit. At T, and like a couple seconds later, you feel the SMB separate. There's like this, and you just hear feel another shudder as you drop the router, and you kind of, well, if any of you, I mean, you would be able to see them looking away, but you don't really have a way to be looking that way. After about 4 minutes, you suddenly hear Capcom says, "Shuttle, calling Dr. Spay. We have radio problems."
Yes, we weren't receiving you before. Please repeat your message.
Everything seems in order on our side. Is everything okay on you?
What should I say? Specialists are in distress. We will give them attention as soon as we're in stable orbit.
You don't get a response.
Great.
Dr. Turner, you kind of feel that Winthrop has stopped screaming now. He's just kind of, you feel like he's just gasping for air. He's seems to be fading.
I mean, in
Turner, you
terms
said
of
screaming's good.
That's right.
The rest of you
Screaming's
can't hear
breathing.
the screaming, but it's only on his channel unless somebody wants to play around the job.
in terms of the physics of liftoff, is there anything I'm able to actually do at the moment?
You can get up and examine him and so on. I mean, it's hard because you're basically doing a deadlift every time, but you can move around. It's just harder.
I haven't turned off the seatbelt light.
Well,
Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, if you want to try to get to him now, I will go with you and assist. But I'm concerned for our own safety if we move around under thrust.
Yeah.
It's not advisable, but now it's kind of like for a couple of minutes you'll be pretty much flying in a straight line, so it's safer than at other times. That's
Yeah, I think
As soon as we get out of our chairs, we're going to
examining
fall
him
towards the back of the ship. So,
examining him with one hand, holding on to straps or wherever I can with the other.
yeah, I think that's a good plan.
okay. Give me a medicine roll.
Under duress.
Yeah.
That is a 40 under 80.
He seems to go into cardiac arrest.
Oh, jeez. Which one is this?
He also seems to be unconscious. This is a vein probe.
wait, the one who was supposed to go on the spacewalk.
Well, they're both. Oh, yeah, right.
O'Neill's is backup.
Can you perform CPR under these conditions?
Very difficult. I mean, because it's hard for you to move around. You kind of effectively have to pull yourself out of the chair because you're basically carrying another person on you.
Right. And you'd have to jump, like, get on top of him to do it because there's nowhere to stand when we're under thrust.
Yeah, you also have the kind of a strange angle. I mean, the standard thing you do have, you can't use the defibrillator either because, well, the oxygen-rich atmosphere is just a bad idea. The the one thing you can try, which will also be really difficult, is anti-replace injection, which might work or might not.
Yeah, I think something is better than doing nothing and listening to a patient without a heartbeat. So is that also medicine, or is that like
that's
pharmacy,
medicine,
or?
but the -20 because you're kind of trying. You got one hand looked over. You're trying to inject this thing into his chest, and without actually like this thing. If this is not the ideal operating situation.
Okay, so my medicine skill is 80, -20 is 60, and I rolled an 11.
Yay.
It's critical success.
Critical success.
I kind of feel that he stabilizes, but yeah, he's still non-responsive, but you kind of feel that his heartbeat is. He seems to be unconscious though.
We can wait a minute or two to deal with that until it's safe to move about the cabin.
At about 5 minutes, the radio's still out. One of you, Spare or Macmillan, can give me a pilot test.
What was that?
Power test?
Pilot
Oh,
spacecraft.
pilot. I'm sorry. Okay. Am I rolling pilot airplane or am I rolling pilot spaceship?
Pilot spaceship. Yeah.
Spacecraft? Okay. Damn, because the other one was better. All right. Yeah, for a minute I thought you said power, and I was like, oh, wow, we're already
me
into
too,
that.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Uh-oh. The horror. The horror.
Exactly. Just missed it. I got a 65.
You have no idea what's going on.
Okay.
Without contact with the ground, you have no idea what's going on. You do know that this is the, everybody knows, this is the point where if you want to abort to orbit, you can. This means that you'll still be, again, continue the mission, or you'll just be in slightly worse orbit. But this is kind of from this point, you can start to abort to orbit.
Is that something I can have Spay assist me with? Like,
yeah, can I will assist him?
Oh, technically, it's Spay's decision whether to do that or not.
Okay.
Well, what was the choices were? What were the choices?
You can abort to orbit, which means that you basically stop ascending and assume orbit where you are already.
Yeah.
This means that basically it'll take you longer to get to where you need, and it's just less optimal for the rest of the mission. You can still continue with the mission, or you can just continue.
We should just continue.
Yeah.
I think we should just continue.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can abort to orbit for a while, but after a while, you just kind of get too high, and there's no point.
Yeah.
Right. Abort to orbit is what you're saying.
Yeah. Abort to orbit.
But. Right now, I mean, we'll continue with the mission as written, unless we have a hurdle in our way. We don't have radio contact, but and yeah, so I guess we're on our own at the moment. Yeah. No, we'll continue with the mission. Particularly, I mean, nothing we can do for the poor devils down there. How about the other one? Did you check on?
Seems to be. Malk is kind of basically lying back in his seat and just kind of like looking back and forth. He seems fine, but just kind of a bit freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of surprising.
Okay, and just to be clear, it was the larger one who seemed to have a cardiac event, or the or the older. It was the larger one. Okay.
Yeah.
Or the older. Yeah.
The older one, yeah. No, he's actually younger.
The younger one had the cardiac event.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, just being clear. So, but the other guy seems to be all right.
Yeah.
Right, well,
now it's T minutes. Now it's T plus. It's been now 5 minutes and 28 seconds since takeoff.
Mm-hmm.
You are now kind of exited the atmosphere. The shuttle rotates so that that you can get better radio telemetry, but that doesn't seem to help at all. There's still nothing in the radio. Then in a little while, everybody give me a con times 5 roll.
Con times 5. Okay.
Oh, success.
Fail.
11 out of 70, so critical success.
You're fine.
Yeah.
3 out of 7.
This is like a walk in the park.
Yeah.
67 out of 70.
You're okay. Well, anybody actually fail?
Yeah, me.
Okay.
Pilot.
Wow. That's unlike you.
Yeah.
Major McMillan, you start to gray out. You just see everything kind of zooms in and just can't see
Spay,
light.
I'm having an issue.
It happens quite often at this
Okay.
velocity now. It's not unusual, but still, like, you know, it will go away in time, but it's still
Yeah.
As long as you go,
Feels weird.
as long as you don't go full black,
Yeah.
we're okay.
you haven't blacked out yet.
Yeah.
Okay, after a while, you get to the altitude where abort through orbit is not an option. So if you want to abort through orbit at any time before that, you could have, but you're now up too high. Basically, at this point, if you aborted, you'll be in some weird orbit, which you have no idea where will end up.
No,
Your G-forces now actually continue to build as you accelerate more and more. Now you're running at 3G, which means that you have like 2 people your own size sitting on top of you. So you're basically sitting. That's pretty much all you can do. Well, I mean, you can exert yourself and do a deadlift if you want to get up.
McMillan's just trying to get it back together again.
We'll get it. We continue the mission.
Yeah.
You hear a shh as the radio kicks back in. If you see it's word or not, let me know what's going on. We had a problem with the ground broadcast. Yeah. Dr. Turner, you don't actually hear this.
Oh, you did. Okay.
It seems he hasn't actually put you back in the loop.
Okay. I'll. I knew what was going on back there, right?
Yeah, more or less they kept it from you, but
Yeah.
see what-
Yeah. Specialist. What was it? What was the guy's name?
Waintrope.
Waintrope. Specialist Waintrope. It appears that Specialist Waintrope had a cardiac event. He is currently stable as far as we can tell. We will investigate more when we reach stable orbit.
Good, let me know. Any other problems? You see the telemetry is as we expected, and seem to be in the getting towards correct orbit.
I think, yeah, yeah. Dirk, you didn't, out of character. You didn't report any problems or anything like that. You just had the graying out, which did you keep? Yeah, I imagine you kept that.
Correct.
Too,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's up to you to give it yourself.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it anyway. It's normal. Yep. We are proceeding with the mission as planned.
Okay. Good. Keep me updated with any changes. Where I'm at Waintrope, well, hope that he's okay. And
We'll find out.
so after about 30 seconds, trust ceases. You're now in microgravity. You kind of feel yourself kind of slightly... Well, the weird feeling when you feel slightly nauseous because your area is now trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And you're now reached orbit, and you can kind of move around the cabin and do whatever you please.
Are we sort of on autopilot still?
You still have to do some navigation, but you can move around. It's like not you don't
Okay.
have to sit there all the time. But I mean, it's a tiny place. You're literally
Yeah. Spay, if you don't mind, I'm gonna just take a couple steps around. You got control.
I have control.
All right.
Acknowledge.
He wants to try to get up.
Keep an eye on things. Man the helm, so to speak.
So we're in
Microgravity.
microgravity. Okay.
you're in
So-
orbit. You're kind of you got the right coordinates and flying. Yeah.
We're in the pipe 5x5.
Yeah. So if I'm reading these diagrams right online, the shuttle had 3 seats on the flight deck. So Dirk and Spay,
Yeah.
and then probably Belton. I think you out
Yeah, Dennis Spray and Belton, and then the rest of you are in the back.
down
On the lower deck.
So I'm going to get up with Dr. Turner, or get out of my seat with Dr. Turner, and go check on the fellows.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
You see that O'Neill seems to have passed out. You assumed, I mean, he seems completely fine, but it's just basically, this just happens on high Gs.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, it's not.
I'll try
mean,
to see about getting him around while you do the real doctory stuff.
I mean, he doesn't seem to need any help. You can just literally just leave him and he'll wake up eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Don't notice anything else wrong with him. Now, looking at Waintrope, I assume that's what you're doing, Dr. Turner, unless you tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
He's pretty bad condition. I mean, you did manage to. I mean, you basically saved his life by actually administering everything you did, but he's still unconscious. His heartbeat is still irregular. Still actually quite weak. I mean, at this point, you would actually prefer to have him in an ICU. You didn't bring one with you.
No. I'm sure. I'm sure I have training for what one does in medical emergency in.
Yeah, well, the idea is pretty much to keep them stable until you can bring them down to Earth. It's like with this kind of medical emergency, means most likely require quite possibly he'll need a triple bypass, and you can't do that up here.
No.
That'd be a hell of a roll. So.
Yeah.
So I guess for the time being, I'm trying to make sure that he's comfortable and whatever my training tells me.
Actually, give me a medicine roll.
Sure. That is a 19 under 80.
Okay, well, examine it. You kind of think to examine the rest of him because I mean, your main focus is on the heart in general. You kind of lifting Zadis noticed that during takeoff, basically pretty much all his capillaries have burst, and you realize that he is probably going to be blind when he wakes up.
Great.
But hopefully not permanently?
Permanently blind or just like...
Pretty much permanently blind.
Oh dear.
As far as you can see. So,
yeah. I mean, I share that with the rest of the crew, but doesn't exactly seem like something that has an obvious.
No.
All right. Can you keep him sedated throughout the mission? Is that against protocol? To keep him out of the way.
No, would that
protocol doesn't really say anything about that. You do have sedatives, probably enough to actually keep one person sedated. There's a melee there in case somebody freaks out or things like that, but you could.
Yeah. Or do you need to wake him up so you can actually do one of them doctory things where you talk to the patient and actually find out how they feel?
I mean, there's the issue of consent with sedating somebody who is. The other consent is a bit of a murky ethical area.
Yeah, I think at least for now we let him rest naturally. We take it from there. I don't want to add, the stress of medications, on top of what he's just been through.
Yeah.
Give him
that's also
couple minutes to...
That's also a bit of a risk because you don't know how medication will affect him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now you have about 48 hours in orbit to get to. I mean, there's a bit of piloting required. There's some fine control and so on, but basically somebody on control pretty much all the time. Good point.
I mean, nobody can hear you scream. Yeah, well, I guess we could hear him scream.
True. So does anybody want to do anything immediately after going into orbit?
Whatever our standard SOP is for...
Yeah, I mean, McMillan was just kind of doing a
go through the
once
checklist
around just to check.
You do kind of a check, make sure that there's nothing, do a visual inspection, check all the instruments, make sure there wasn't anything damaged in the takeoff.
Otherwise,
because it does put a lot of pressure.
Otherwise, he'll go back up front. If Spay wants to, take a walkabout, he can.
Yeah, I'm good.
After a while, you hear O'Neill waking up. Sounds very groggy. Rabbi kind of looks at you. At this point, you probably climb out of your pumpkin suits. Unless you really want to wear them, it's up to you.
No, yeah.
Hey, Weintraub, where's Weintraub? And he looks like he sees him. I mean, if you assume you left him in the seat, you can move him up. There's that many space you can move him. Are you okay? But he doesn't respond because he's still unconscious.
He is not okay. Well, I'm not.
What happened?
I am piloting. Somebody else brief him.
Yeah, I fill him in. And I'll make it sound as non-panic inducing as I can without lying to him. He had a cardiac event. He is resting. We will we'll take it from there.
You want to give me a charisma times 5 roll?
Yeah. Wow. I was going to say that I'm not terribly good at that, but 20 under 60. So
Excellent.
Take it.
Yeah, he seems comforted by this.
Better than average.
He's still worried about his friend, but
yeah.
I mean, so
do I hear all this on the comms, or
you do? I mean,
okay.
Basically, I'm assuming that the comms are open. If you want to speak to anybody privately, just tell me, because I mean, you have full control over that.
And at this point, we can travel about the cabin and things like that.
Yeah.
You can, yeah.
Yeah. Are we all in the same space, or is the cockpit separated?
The cockpit is separate. It's 2 levels. There's midsection. There's also a cargo level below you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's like 3 decks.
Yeah.
But the mid deck is where Winthrop and O'Neill would be, and the rest of us, and it's
So
where
we can't actually hear them through our ears, but they're
it's where the galley would be, and the communal space and that kind of stuff.
O'Neill, you're on deck.
What do you mean?
You're up.
Oh, okay. Yep. I guess so.
When we get there, you gonna be ready?
I think so. Let me just check some calculations. It can take basically just got like a regularized laptop.
Well, he'll be okay.
And then just suddenly
for bullshit. He's kind of very blunt.
Yeah. Now that you can now hear Weintraub is actually starting to move around. And first you kind of scare. Where's everyone? Why can't I see? You kind of hear like a growing panic in his voice. Why can't I see? And he's kind of actually now struggling against you.
You're suffering from hibernation sickness.
No.
Giving him the best, compassionate doctor, here with you, kind of speech.
Give me a charisma times 5 because.
Yep.
Roll bedside manner.
That is a 59 under 60.
Will I be okay? Can you please let me out of these restraints? Because it's not really restraints, it's just a normal belt. Kind of fumbling, trying to get it open. But he's basically still a bit panicked. But... You let him out, or?
Yeah, I guess so. I advise him to take it slow.
You should rest.
Okay, as soon as you try to open the hatch, kind of actually pushes off past you and floats away because you're in 0G. And he's kind of trying to feel his way around, to tell you sure what he's trying to do. Kind of bumping into everything because, well, it's small space.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're not in the cockpit. Are there sensitive controls that he's about to go slapping?
No, pretty much everything's kind of, there's kind of some supplies and so on. He knocks down a few food packets, kind of just floating around. Then, but then he does kind of he's heading at you, he's kind of feeling his way, and he's now close to the escape hatch. Yeah.
I'm going to steer him away from the door.
It's like grabbing a toddler and trying to like.
I would hope that it would be harder to open than just oops, but
Yeah, they are, but it's not. It's one of those things you never actually used the escape hatch, but you do know there should be harder to open, but you don't really want to find it out the hard way that you were.
Big button. Do not push this button. So,
I'm assuming that I have more experience moving around in this kind of environment than
you're kind of very good. He's blind as well, so
yes. So I think while I'm trying to talk him down, I'm also moving between him and the door to vacuum.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem doing that. I mean, he's slow. He can't even see where he's going, and you kind of manage to contain him. And he just kind of holds on to you, almost clutching, like a comfort. The one thing that Lieutenant Belton and Captain Hamlet have to do is inspect the MMUs. I mean, do you want to do that now or leave it for later? Or
now and later.
Yeah.
Do two inspections. Okay, well, are you going to do the who's going to do first inspection?
Rock, paper, scissors.
I could do it because
Okay.
you were helping Dr. Turner.
I mean, if you want, Hamlet, you can help contain.
Yeah.
I mean, his. Okay. Well, so Doctor. Then Commander Belton. As you're inspecting the MMUs, they're kind of this big bulky units. They're almost the size of a person. You basically clip into them, still a spacesuit, and they're jetpacks, much. But as you inspected them, you can give me a craft electronics roll.
Oh. That is a 12 out of 70.
That's pretty good. You see there's a small unknown device on each MU. You have never seen this before. It's kind of spliced to the side of the primary life support system, the PLSS. It's basically the big backpack that provides oxygen, nitrogen, and pretty much everything that's required to survive. Kind of seems to be incorporated that. And you kind of get a little bit inside the cover frame. You see it has devices going from the internal antenna, which is used for radio communications. And there's a small digital receiver there. There's also some sort of output which disappears down into the oxygen regulation system. I mean, that's that you've never seen this before. I mean, you worked with MMUs. Just new.
Yeah. Hamlet, I'm gonna need you to come over here.
Okay, be right there.
He shows you what I just described. I mean.
Okay. Can I try an electronics roll just to see if I can make out what it's supposed to do?
No.
Ooh, fail.
Yeah, no,
I mean, no idea what that's for, Luke.
I mean, it's hooked up into the radio and to the life support system. That's all you can tell.
I don't like it when they put new stuff on our equipment without telling us. I'm half tempted to see if we can disable it.
Well, it's kind of very incorporated. There's a couple of ways. One, you can. I mean, you're familiar with them. You work with them. You know how to repair them and everything else.
Yeah.
One way is to disable the radio itself. There's probably this for working, but it has a host of other problems because that means that, well, you won't have a radio.
Yep, can't do that.
Yeah, you can try to disconnect from the oxygen feed, or disconnect from the radio, or you can take the whole MU apart, but you won't be able to put it back together. So basically, you'll be down one MU. You'll have
We have the tools to do a full breakdown, and
you do actually.
Oh, we do. Well,
You
we got
basically-
14 hours still.
The problem is you won't be able to put it back together. One of those things.
No.
But you do have, because you have tools to kind of repair it. You have to take off panels to fix something.
Yeah.
Just take off all the panels, take out the things, and then. But yeah, but once it's apart, there's really no way of putting it back together.
Maybe there was an upgrade that they
Yeah.
failed to mention.
Let's call it then.
Remember, you can always talk to ground. I mean, I'm not going because you get occasional pings like telemetry checks, like status checks. There's like constant chatter.
Yeah, let's call it in. Do you want to do it, or should I?
You do that. I'm gonna go and continue to check to see if there's anything else that
Okay.
could be out of place.
All right, then. Put in the call. Captain Hamlet to ground control.
Yes, ground control, Captain Hamlet.
We've got a question about the MMUs.
Yes, is everything okay with them?
We're looking over them, and we've discovered some modifications that we don't recognize. Some changes since the last time we used the MMU. Can you elucidate?
Gurich comes onto the line. Now you're just talking to 200 people in ground control, kind of the radio operator.
Mhm.
That's enhanced rig, so the mission control will better monitor your status, which is especially important with O'Neill Waintrobes, considering their fragile state. Would you like to give me a human test? And anybody else who's listening on this, or are you having a private conversation?
Yeah, I will, but... Oh, no.
Well, I only got a 10 in it, so I'm not.
Way failed.
4 out of 10.
Damn.
All right. Nice!
All right. Nice.
Okay, well, Hamlet, you do actually realize that he is not being 100% honest with you, just listen his voice. Then Commander Belton, you realize that he's definitely telling you at least a half truth at the most, and he is kind of very, very intent on basically just shutting you up, and basically doesn't want you to try to look at this anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at Hamlet, just give him that like.
By the way, if you're talking about radio, ground can always listen in, but you can actually just literally just talk to each other.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at him like.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. That's all right. Burge, can you transmit schematics for the new edition? So we can familiarize ourselves with the working.
At this point in time, you notice that you can't really receive schematics for radio. Pretty much voice only. You don't really have a video feed. You have basic telemetry kind of thing.
You can email it to me. Can get email on the shuttle, sort of. All right. We're just.
You can try to disable them, but you still don't know what they actually do. Or you have to. I mean,
what exactly does this stuff do?
Well, as I said, it's just to better monitor the vitals of anybody in the MMU, so we can keep track of in case anything happens to.
Oh, okay. Are there any new connections that we have to, apply to our bodies for the monitoring?
Oh no, it's incorporated existing. I mean, you already have a whole bunch of monitoring stuff.
Oh, okay. So just plug and play.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. I guess. I don't like it.
I assume that's offline now.
Yeah. We close the channel. I don't like it, Luke, but I don't know what we can do.
Well, yeah. I'm giving you pretty much
the whole mission.
Like I said, the only I mean, you can take apart the MMU or disable the radio, or just try to disconnect it from either radio or oxygen feed. Basically, just like this one lamp, there's like radios out here, the antenna pointing out, and there's the oxygen feed that the wire goes into, and then it goes deeper into the device. But in order to see deeper, you'll have to kind of take it apart because it's all about this thing.
I don't want to be working on something that we're going to be trusting our lives to in a couple days in a way that I might break it.
Yeah.
I think we should risk leaving it alone, but let's keep our eyes on it.
Agreed.
Between the electronics knowledge from the rest of the crew and my medical knowledge, would I be able to work out, or would we, whether in fact this device makes sense as a like life signs
Yeah.
monitor device?
Yeah, okay, give me well, you both will look at this together, so give me a doctor. Yeah, let's go with the doctor at -20. Assume that Hamlet walks you through this spire, goes here, this. Oh, you might have electronics as well.
So my medicine score is 80, so we're looking for a 60, and I got a 26.
Yay!
This doesn't look like any kind of device you've seen. It's a bit too simple. It actually seems to basically just kind of it's too simple. It's literally just transmitting a signal. This is something that you also notice, Hamlet. I mean, it's basically very much it's an on-off switch, pretty much. I mean, you could basically, if it's used to send data out, it will basically just be sending one bit of data at a time.
Okay, so I share that with the crew.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understood that.
Well, basically, it's a switch. It will put something on or put it off.
But we can't tell what it's flipping on or off?
No, because whatever's on, you assume is somewhere in the oxygen system.
That's not troubling at all.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds suspiciously like a kill switch.
It does, doesn't it?
As I understand it, we have 2 of these.
You have 3
So
of
we were
these.
going to be taking 2 specialists.
No, you have 3 of this. It's you're taking only one specialist out, but Hamlet and Bolton are both going out with him, so you have 3 of them.
Okay, I misunderstood what this.
So we don't have a spare.
Devices were.
All 3 of them have this. I mean, they look identical.
I was about to ask.
All right. Mike, what do you think about this? Should I try to disable it with the risk of actually, catastrophically breaking the machine?
Yeah, I believe I think I'm not I don't like it, but I'm not sure there's anything we can do about it. Is going to be the answer that and disabling, just mucking about with the space with anything that we're going to rely our lives on is a bad idea.
Well, worst case scenario, you screw up the oxygen or the radio. I mean,
yeah. That's yeah. Neither of which we need to. Oh wait,
well, you could live without the radio.
we could live without the radio. Well, yes, but you could also die without the radio.
Yeah.
True.
That's the problem.
We can always use semaphore out in space. So
Not
we
good.
we brought the
Not-
flags.
Radio's not going to be. All right. So it sounds like we're all agreed. We
We're
leave
gonna
them
leave
in
it
place
unless
and
we can figure
cross our
unless we can figure out more about it. I think we need to leave it.
Should we maybe ask our specialists, because maybe they have some idea of
Yep.
what it would be turning on and off, and whether
Okay.
this is cool or not?
Okay, which one do you want to speak to? I mean, Neil O'Neill is kind of still there. He's kind of still. He's just drinking some water. He's still a bit.
Well, we want the one who
He's
can
the what?
see what we're talking about.
well,
Yeah,
you can-
I think we go with O'Neill partly because he can see the device we're talking about, and partly because he's still the one who's
yeah.
going to be
Waitrop is now kind of just.
trusting his leg in one of these.
I assume put him in his chair because he can't really get around in microgravity, and he's kind. You see, he's kind of like. Well, he's trying to rock back and forth, which leads to this really weird, like up and down, almost wave-like motion because of his energy. You can kind of just hear this subliminal muttering, something about instantiate potentialities, across Wilson's consciousness, and soon will be there. And
What was that?
what? Nothing. He's very out of it. It's possible a heart attack might have caused some brain damage. He might be without oxygen for a little bit.
Yeah.
It basically, you hear something with diagrammatical resolution, transformation spaces.
Non-Euclidean geometry. So.
Don't hear that one interesting enough.
How is this guy even alive?
Well, Dr. Deirdre. That's how.
You might show.
All right, yeah. So let's grab O'Neill.
Okay, you kind of have to help him a bit because he's still. I mean, he's very bad at microgravity. He doesn't quite know what's going on. I mean, it's kind of. He's new at it. That's it.
Mhm.
Kind kind of help him down to the outside area where
Fastball
outside.
special.
What?
We'll do a fastball special.
Yeah. And you should.
I would rather not have vomit in my.
You guys
more.
tell him you're going to show him something to just put him there. Go. What's this?
Yeah, explain to him what we found, what it looks like it does, and what they claim it does, and ask him if he knows anything about it.
Don't know much about electronics.
And yet you're going to fix
Yeah.
satellite?
That's a different kind of technology to be using. Basically, application of higher mathematics. Yeah, give me a human roll. Whoever's
Okay.
there. Turner, I don't know if you're
Guys,
there.
help me out here. I'm rolling bad on the human.
Yeah, well, I mean, none of us have a lot of it. It sounds like.
I mean, he seems genuine. He does get that look of like, this is a weird thing which I've never seen before in a machine which I've never really seen before either. So
Right. But
I should acknowledge that I rolled the human and I got a 99, which seems bad.
he's definitely hiding something.
yeah,
He knows
99
what this is.
a critical failure. So
Yeah. So Dr. Turner, you realize he's hiding something. He knows what this thing is.
I kind of knew that to begin with.
Yeah. And then you hear on the thing on the ventricle kind, O'Neill, where are you? O'Neill kind of goes about, half, kind of pulls himself up to the up being a relative term, but it's more out of habit to the thing. And
all right. Well, I guess there's not much else we can do about this.
you guys are on comms, and you hear Weintraub is talking to O'Neill and saying something. This mission was a mistake. We shouldn't have come here. Let these people live. Kill me, not them. Oh, please help me with this one.
What?
You're my only friend. You sound very agitated. So O'Neill, you can hear O'Neill. Weintraub, calm down. We'll be fine, okay? We'll get ahead of the mission. I mean, we'll get you back, and I'm sure we can fix your eyes with some medical thing. So Turner, there's no way.
Doc, you may need to do some more of that psychotherapy.
Yeah.
What was that middle part he said? Kill me? Not them? What?
I don't know what he was talking about. It sounds delusional.
It must be unwound. Everything must be unwound. Then we'll
Unwound?
see it all. Yes, unwound. Are you on comms still? Because remember, you're pretty much broadcast everything unless specified otherwise.
What are you talking about, Wayne?
No.
Then, no, I think he's just delirious. I think he's got to recover.
Yeah, maybe he needs a snack. You know, don't heart attacks take a lot out of you.
Yeah, you guys can give him a snack. He's kind of becoming agitated again. So he's pulling himself out to a chair. Did you guys strap him back in, or did you just let him float around freely?
I think we'll strap him back in.
Strap him back in, please. For his own safety and ours.
Okay, so do you want to speak to anyone?
Can we switch channels?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to let our crew know to switch channels away from Winthrop and O'Neill.
Yeah.
I assume you have like a pre-established all crew channel.
All right. Look, again, this is a little fishy.
This is very
Mission. We don't know. They're not trained for it. We're given no information. And now we're here. Our suits are clearly messed up.
Yeah, technically it's the MMUs, but
Yeah. There's a police car
Yeah.
from the house.
What do you propose to do about it?
what I propose to do is not legal. Just look over to Spay.
I do not see that we are long on options at this point.
We have to keep him separated.
The
Winthrop,
two,
O'Neill.
Winthrop and O'Neill. I can get behind that.
Yeah. Kind of takes me back to the question of sedating Winthrop.
I think we need to keep
Form of
him
separation.
awake.
Think he needs to be awake? He's not making sense.
He might not be making sense, but we can make him make sense. He's clearly said something about killing him, us not dying. He knows something and he's breaking.
You want to go
It's
talk
going
to
to
him?
take us, what, 5 days to get over there?
2.
2 days.
You want to go
2
lean
days
on?
to get there.
Okay. I can arrange to be in a different room.
Yeah.
That's kind of, you don't have that much space. There's the cabin, middle section, and the cargo bay.
Oh, nowhere near the cockpit.
Yeah, but we can be in the cockpit. Leave you alone with him.
Yeah. Well, I don't want him anywhere near the cockpit. I don't want
No.
him to be able to touch something.
I'll take Dr. Turner with me.
And I'll take O'Neill into the cargo bay and practice putting on suits and training.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, when you go back to the when you see that Winthrop has actually stopped talking when you click back into the main channel, and he's kind of just staring out the window. Wait, but literally in this case, and yeah, O'Neill is kind of still there. Looks worried about. Looks at Winthrop worriedly.
O'Neill,
just-
everything okay?
Well, I'm worried about Winthrop. He's been talking lots of nonsense. I think he's more seriously injured than before.
All right. Well, let you and me go off and do some training, and we'll let the doctor do her job. Take a look at Winthrop.
Okay, sure. Follows along you slowly. Gets him to spin at one point. Has to.
Yep. We'll practice maneuvering in space in the cargo bay because that's a nice long bay. We'll just go back and forth, do stuff, work on getting in and out of suits, talk about the plan. You don't have to go into all of what we do, but use your imagination.
What the rest of you want to do? That you got Neil out of the.
Mike,
Miller's
Dirk?
just staying in the cockpit,
Yeah.
just monitoring comms essentially.
Yeah, we'll
He's
monitor
standing
comms
things in.
and
Yeah.
make the course corrections and things like that in
Yeah.
the cockpit,
Yeah.
and let Luke and Deirdre take care of the see what we can get from.
Yeah, the comms pretty routine, kind of basically just this constant back and forth.
Right.
Not really remarkable adjustments like.
Mhm.
Give a
You
little bit force on this burner, a little bit on that one. Nothing
Luke
new.
and Dirk, don't forget to disconnect from the comms.
Yeah.
So O'Neill can't hear you.
Basically, you have to talk to him or right through comms. I mean, if you disconnect, do you mean just talk? You can talk to Winthrop, just literally with just talk off your helmet and just talk to him.
Right.
You're in an atmosphere.
I'm going to look over to Turner. You should start us off.
Yeah. So I think I start with a cursory medical check. I don't think anything has actually changed, but trying to communicate the we are taking care of you more so than any particular thing I'm going to learn.
Yeah, the only thing that change you notice there is a bruise on his arm. presumably when he was filling around, he probably hit himself or something. No serious bruises.
Okay. I do take a look at the bruise to make sure it's not, say, like finger shaped.
No.
Having been back here with the other one, but
No, that looks like a very normal bruise, kind of starting
Okay.
to go bluish. It's actually kind of reassuring. It means that his blood flow is fine and so on.
so yeah, I'm talking him through,
Kind of nodding, but you get the impression he's only taking like half what you're saying. It's spaced out, if you pardon the pun.
yeah. Basically trying to get through that. We're going to take care of you as best we can. Once we get you back down to the ground, we can do more. But for the time being, we're all in this tin can here together. So
Yeah, he kind of slowly turns to try to look at you, but kind of looks past you. Still turning.
Yeah.
Hope they don't just pull you. At least not yet. Probably won't. You'll be here with me, won't you?
I'll be here.
Good. Good. Staying here. Much safer.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to navigate him back to kill me, let them live. That's still running over and over and over in the doc said. That and these guys do realize that if they do anything to us, they're not getting back down, right? But that's not useful to say out loud.
Good. Look, it's
Yeah.
just... You're a nice person. I like you. Still kind of looking past you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind
Wish you
of
could see the
move
view.
in. I'm gonna move in a little bit and
And he feels the space in the air as you go towards him, kind of tries to distinctly turn his head towards you.
yeah, I'm gonna put like
That-
my hand on his shoulder.
Yeah,
Yeah, hey,
Oh, is that...
it's
Luke?
Belton.
Oh, yes, Belton, we met.
Yeah,
Oh, you'll be
hey,
going out with O'Neill.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that it would have been you.
No, that... You shouldn't go. Stay in here. Safer.
Why's that?
Well, they might need you for repairs.
We got Hamlet. Probably not as good as me, but
Hamlet feels this tingling in the back of his neck downstairs.
I feel seen.
Oh,
Yeah, why do you think we shouldn't be going out there, buddy?
nobody should be going out there. It's not safe. They should just let that thing just fall.
Well, you do know that failure on a mission looks bad on our marks, right? Probably won't be able to go back up again for a while.
You won't be
don't
able
want
to
that,
go
right?
back up at the end at all if you don't go down. You can stay. I mean, if you want to, you can stay up here, I guess. Yeah. If you go out, you'll stay up here. That's what you want, you can.
Mm,
You like it up here, don't you?
I do, but kind of
I
like
wish
my
you could
feet on
see
the
outside.
ground. I'm just gonna look over to Turner and just hold up 2 fingers. It's the second time he said that.
Well, paint me a picture. What would we see? We're stuck back here in this compartment that doesn't really have a lot of great windows. What?
Not much. Up at this altitude, you can mostly see a couple of stars. I mean, they don't twinkle, and they're kind of fairly bright. I mean, you're actually, the sun is now below the horizon, so you kind of actually have a fairly, like a decent view of the starscape. It's more kind of the idea that you're seeing on space. You're kind of floating up with the Earth with the belly down, so you can't actually see the Earth. And the moon is, well, not quite sure where it is, unless you check, but you can't see it from where you are. That's kind of, it's...
I'm just inviting him to tell us anything more about why we should be looking outside right now. But if I'm trying very hard not to push.
I've never been to space. I mean, that's one thing I was looking forward to, is actually seeing it, seeing the Earth from up here would have been amazing. Do you think so? Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever will see the Earth again from anywhere. What?
Hey,
Matt.
for your question, do you know anything about those suits? We had O'Neill look at them, and there was some kind of additions added, and he wasn't really familiar with them. We want to make sure that we get everything, our P's and Q's, I's and T's dotted, crossed before we head out there.
Don't do suits, we do mats. The ones downstairs probably added them as part of the plan. Have to spool somehow. That's probably it.
Okay. Second thing. O'Neill's a little nervous about the spacewalk now. Is there anything that you might be able to help us, not asking for confidential information, but anything that you might be able to help us to guide him along this mission? Hamlet and I are going to be heading out there. We want to make sure that the mission is done perfectly so it doesn't fall out of the sky.
I'll tell him to double check the further transformation, make sure that he applies the secondary splice. He always forgets that.
Okay. And then I'm gonna... Dr. Turner, did you see that? I think there was a meteor that just passed by. It was
Raindrop also
some distance
turns his head in a direction completely different where you're pointing.
You saw that, the tail, right? It was really bright.
Beautiful. You see pictures, but it just doesn't compare.
You see that Raindrop is smiling.
So, O'Neill doesn't like space as much as you?
O'Neill's kind of a bit boring, a bit stick in the mud. He prefers to live inside the mathematics. I mean, I love mathematics, but it's also nice to go outside sometimes. I mean, he is a brilliant man, an absolutely brilliant man. I've been my best friend for years. We were together in Mustang. I mean, I'm supposed to talk about that, but it's better now. Yeah. But thank you for keeping company. I mean, you must have lots to do today.
Nope. Today is all about you, making sure that you are okay.
Okay, well, let's change scenes for a second. And Captain Hamlet, you're busy training with O'Neill.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to him about anything, or are you just too focused on
Yeah.
Basically doing sprints because the cargo bay is not actually that big. You're just kind of walking from one end to the other, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, floating.
It's a nice enclosed space where he can float and practice being in free fall.
Exactly. He's getting better.
Good. We'll run through some drills. Pretend we're in the MMUs and talk over what's going to happen. How we're going to leave the airlock, what spacewalk's going to entail. Just drilling. All the stuff that we talked about in the pool yesterday, but that we really need weeks to train on.
Is Weintraub okay? Thank you for helping him. We've been through together for a lot.
I understand what it is to work closely with someone and get close to them. It's tough to see them when they're in distress.
Yeah. Yeah, this mission is tough on everyone.
Sorry, say that again?
This mission is tough on everyone.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Well, thank you for bringing up Sophia. I know you weren't very impressed with this too. Basically, flabby guys coming over with you on the mission. I've actually been very supportive.
Well, we got to do what we can to keep you guys alive. I mean, look, we were worried something like this would happen. You need more time training, but I understand we're under a time crunch, so we're going to do the best we can with what we've got.
You're all good people. Give me a human troll.
Oh dear.
No, still a fail, but I got closer that time.
There's something weird in his voice, but can't quite tell what.
Probably just the zero-G messing with his vocal cords.
Probably. Nothing more
I
than
just
that.
don't like
Extra
you're
helium.
all good people.
Yeah.
What?
I don't like you're all good people. It just sounds like he wants to add, it's a shame you're all gonna die.
Right? Yeah. Yep. Well, I'm sure you're a good man too. All right, we've trained long enough. Why don't we head back inside and give you a rest? We can do some more in a few hours if you want.
He goes back up.
The more you train, the less you have to think on the day.
Yeah.
That's good to remember. Anyway, I also had to double check my calculations, I think. Yeah. And you end up you're back in the Millicent. I mean, see those three just stand around talking, floating around talking.
Yeah.
But O'Neill goes in and finds he has like a regularized notebook and he takes it out of his opens it up and starts typing on something. He boots up and so. Yeah, some sort of maths program. You've quite seen. And yeah, so anything else you want to do over the next 2 days, or should we go today here and we can start next session as you reach the satellite?
I think that sounds like a good plan to me.
Yeah.
As everybody else
We
said.
just babysit these two and do whatever. I mean, there's never one mission going on a shuttle at a time, so there's bound to be little things that we have to do.
Weird enough, the briefing, there was nothing else brought up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So-
Well, then we're going to enjoy the unusual respite.
Yeah. I think it'd be a good idea to probably just wrap up here and then just pick up next time.
Yeah, this seems like a natural breakpoint. So.
Okay.
Yeah, seems like a good break point. All right. Next week, same time.
Same time, same place.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
This time, hopefully, it will not be late.
Ah,
Yeah.
No
fair.
problem. No problem.
All right, Tom, you want to roll us out?
Yeah, thanks again, everybody watching on the stream and watching on YouTube later. We appreciate your support, and we will wrap up for tonight, and we will see you all again back next week. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah.